the GOP autopsy of the 2022 midterm election is absolutely going to influence Republicans going into 2024.
Yeah, it's being conducted by the corpse.
Right. What would you say were the top mistakes across the board? And was there really anything remotely positive that can be taken from this experience?
Well, let's start with a positive. We did get the House back. Look, what happened was we set expectations higher than they should have been. We also did not we failed to take advantage of historic trends and current posture, like Grandpa Badfinger's monkeypox-like poll numbers. Look, there's plenty of blame to go around. I think if you're a man, you start with yourself. Like most pundits, I thought we were going to do a lot better. Historical trends, the current situation. I liked many of our candidates. I think Adam Laxalt was the quintessential candidate for Nevada. He didn't get it done. He's a friend of mine, good guy. I think Oz had some weaknesses, though I like some things about him. Herschel, of course, had big problems. You look at who won, it was the normal, boring guys. It was the guys who just did a good job, and that includes, I don't think DeSantis is boring, but I think he does a good job. You go to, when I'm in Florida, you can feel the energy is different than here in California. DeWine in Ohio, Reynolds in Iowa, Kemp in Georgia. These guys ran far ahead of the guys who weren't perceived as being normal and competent. Okay. JD didn't do as well as DeWine. You got to wonder what's the X factor there. Herschel, of course, a little behind. I just think, people are looking for normal and competent. And if you start getting somebody who's interesting, I had a friend who was very much a artsy fartsy kind of guy, like literature and stuff, but very smart, very funny. And he once said, people who look interesting aren't. I think people weren't interested. Dr. Oz, interesting cat, celebrity, hung with Oprah, who stabbed him in the back.
Yeah.
The voters weren't interested. Instead, they took frickin' Shrek's, moronic brother.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess maybe, boring is predictable.
And that's not every cycle. That was just this cycle.
Right.
So I don't want everybody to go, well, now we know the key. Let's get all boring candidates. I don't know what 2024 is going to look like. 2016 was not about boring and competent. If you want boring and competent, we'd have President Scott Walker or
Great
President
point.
Jeb Bush, though I'm not sure about the competent. Well, not the conservative. He was the kind of guy who adequately performed his tasks in managing the decline. But we didn't want that time. So I don't know what we're going to want in 2024, but I'll bet we want normality. And I'll bet competence. It seems more likely. So, the other thing, of course, some mechanical stuff. There are certain states where we did not take advantage of the existing laws to the extent we should have. California and New York, we did a very good job of adapting. Arizona, not so much.
Yeah.
And I think some of our candidates made mistakes. I think Carrie Lake made mistakes. I think the voters weren't ready for somebody like Blake. And that's not what the voters wanted. And we didn't pick that up. And we nominated a guy who didn't get it done. Would Brunovich have got it done? Well, he's kind of soft. Like we need another Tom Tillis.
Branovich is going to be known for his nunchuck stunt on the roof of the state capitol. And if you've missed that, then I encourage everyone to go and YouTube it because it's all over the place. The guy's a fool. So that's my home state. And
yeah, I'm not going to dictate to the Arizonans. I'm just throwing names out there.
Oh, I know.
Another guy, Lamont.
Yeah.
I talked to him. He was a little more normal.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying normal in a, if you're not normal, you're a weirdo. No, a guy like Blake Masters is not your typical dude.
No, he's a walking brain, basically.
Yeah. And there's a place for guys like that, but it wasn't in Arizona in 2022.
Yeah.
It just wasn't.
Pima GOP, that whole area down there, it's completely purple. You know, I used to live in Tucson. It's an absolute blue nightmare down there. So it's going to be a long time before you need a party head of change down there more than anything.
Well,
And I think Kelly Ward has got to go. I mean, you want to talk
Kelly
about
Ward
losing.
hasn't cut it. I like Kelly Ward.
She's
as
a nice
person,
lady, but she can't
she's
get it
not
done.
good enough.
Yeah.
So she needs to go.
Yeah.
I
Speaking
mean,
of which,
it's not personal. You're just not, it's like football guys,
yeah. Well,
you start losing, eventually you're, relegated to Pop Warner.
Are we going to be the party of mediocrity?
We are.
Or the party of meritocracy?
Well, we're the party of mediocrity right now. Rona is good enough.
Yeah, let's tackle that. You've been real critical of the current RNC chairwoman, Rona McDaniel. Give us a recap of why you think we need new leadership sooner than later.
The worst thing about her is, her family relations. A lot of people, well, she's a Romney. I don't care about that. Okay, I care about the fact she's 0-5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she's literally not won an election cycle, a federal election cycle.
Right.
2 runoffs, 2 regular elections. She's failed at all of them. And, a big part of the reason America sucks right now is because there's no accountability. Who somebody's got to pay. Somebody's got to be held responsible. And she's like, nah, just keep me. I'll just work the refs. I'll work these 168 people,
I think that's what she said to Harmeet Dillon on the phone, like literally, it was like donors, who cares about the donors?
Oh, yeah. I saw that. Who cares about the donors? Well, dipshit, you better. That's kind of your freaking job. I'm tired of, I'm tired of second best. Why are we even dicking around with this?
Well, why won't anybody run for this? We have Harmeet Dillon who's jumped in, Mike Lindell, as if he's great, but come on.
Lindell's not really serious.
I mean, how much can he be asked to do at this point?
Well, look, he's not a serious candidate.
Yeah, well, Lee Zeldin doesn't want it. So.
Yeah, Lee doesn't want it. Harmeet does, and Harmeet's good. Harmeet's been on the committee for years.
Okay.
So she understands the inner workings, but she's also a media personality who knows how to compose a statement. Mm-hmm. She is also a lawyer who understands the election law stuff. She was down there with Carrie Lake. Mm-hmm. I like how somebody was like, well, she didn't win the Carrie Lake election thing. Yeah. Name the guy who wins election challenges. What's his name?
Exactly.
I'll wait.
It's certainly not Al Gore.
Yeah. You never win them.
Never.
You just don't.
Yeah.
Okay. And it ain't Harmeet's fault that Carrie didn't get it done.
Carrie,
you need to win outside the margin of fraud. I know it's unfair. I know it's not nice. Don't give a shit. Freaking win.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing about, like Rona there. Well, I've got a bunch of I don't give a shit. You were hired to get a job done, which the implied task is you overcome the obstacles.
Right.
Now, I'll consider it if a meteor freaking strikes you as you're going from victory to victory to victory. All right, then maybe I'll go, okay, you didn't get it done, but I'll accept this reason because I think you'll get it done next time. What evidence do we have that Rona will get it done next time? What is the thing she plans to change? How does she plan to improve that will get her to win? And of course, you don't hear it because she's not talking to us, because she treats the base like toe fungus. And toe fungus, incidentally, is more popular than Rona. I did a Twitter, an unscientific Twitter poll, but of course, science has given us a vaccine that doesn't keep you from getting sick, and masks that don't keep you from getting sick. So science can blow me. Of 5,992 people voted. 0.6% supported Rona. What statistically is 99.4% that you've ever seen Americans agree on? 99.4%. That Nickelback blows. Okay. There are sexually transmitted diseases that are more popular than Rona McDaniel being chairperson of the Republican National Committee. That's not a joke.
I don't know if you remember, but she said that if they flip the House, they're going to work with Joe Biden.
Did she say that?
Yes.
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about not reading your customers. See, that's the problem. In business, you're held accountable. If your customers think you suck, they stop buying your shit.
Yeah.
She doesn't think we're her customers. She's like, you know, out in California, on the rare occasion, I went to a Republican event. I sat next to some guy, and he proudly told me he'd been the head Republican in some assembly district for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you ever won the seat? And he looked at me like I was stupid. Okay?
Yeah.
If you have somebody there for 25 years and he doesn't win the seat, your focus is not on success. It's on occupying seats.
This is academic at this point. It's like I said, we're either going to be the party of meritocracy or mediocrity, and I'm not seeing any merit going on.
I haven't seen. Look, the RNC thing is not for approximately 7 or 8 weeks,
right? And
a lot of things can happen in there, and there are a lot of people. You know, these committee people. If you're in your state, there are 2 committee people and a committee chair for your state, and they need to hear from you. Mm-hmm. And I said, look, I'm in the GOP. I walk precincts. I knock on doors. I write you checks, and you don't get shit from me if you don't frickin' stand up. Because this isn't about fuck you base. We're doing what we want. It has been for too long. It's been an insiders club, and the insiders. I wouldn't mind the insiders and the ruling class in general having a little arrogance if they fucking performed.
Exactly.
What if they performed? Look around you. These guys are not geniuses. They do not deserve the benefit of the doubt. I don't mind the guys who run things taking a little cream off the top. If a president runs a great country, the country's in great shape, and he comes out and he's got a few $1 million more than he had one before, I'm not going to sweat it.
Spoils of war.
Spoils of war, man.
Yeah.
Coffee is for closers.
Yeah, I victory is the only thing that's acceptable at this point.
Yeah,
and this idea of losing with virtue is just complete bullshit. Hey, something Scott Presler tweeted yesterday. I love this guy. You want to talk about insider and outsider and who gets things done. This guy was registering Republicans at gas stations in Florida, and other places. He tweeted yesterday, I'm going to spend December through January working on the RNC chair race, creating a ballot harvesting manual, and preparing to flip the Kentucky and Louisiana governorships in 2023. Can Republicans win without early voting, mail-in voting, and ballot harvesting at this point? And I point to Texas and Florida, both who have excellent mail-in voting and early voting, and we've seen the results in those states. So why not follow what those states are doing and counter and beat the Democrats at their own game?
We used to.
Yeah.
And I still reflexively look at early votes and think, oh, good, these are the Republican votes. Because for years they were.
They were.
And of course we got, fucking Trump out there. Oh, only vote on the day of. Hey, shut the fuck up. Okay, he was another problem. And I like Trump. There's a book on my a thing up there where I defended him against bullshit allegations, of which he has had many. Mm-hmm. But don't say stupid shit. And don't do stupid things.
Yeah, I don't understand this idea.
Don't let this freaking random dipshit sit with me at dinner. Oh, he's a Holocaust denier. Now I look like an asshole. And by extension, so do all of you. Is it fair? No, don't care. Get disciplined. I'm sick of fucking people doing stupid shit. Don't even get me started on Tom Tillis' fucking amnesty thing. I mean, who's like that dipshit Cornyn? Well, our Republicans are going to help with gun control. Who the fuck voted for you to go to Washington to help Democrats pass gun control, asswipe? Hey, Tillis, who's the fucking GOP voter who said, you know what we got to do? It's time we really let's focus our efforts on helping people who shouldn't even be here. No one. I mean, what the fuck?
I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But this thing about, pinning all of your hopes and dreams on one day between 8 a.m. and
stupid.
7 a.m. or getting people into basically filling out ballots and voting 30 days in advance so you have a lead. It's a mental
change from trying to influence voters. We're hoping you'll do what they want to collecting their ballot. And here's the other thing. They can't do a last minute freaking, surprise. Here's the candidate's illegitimate kid thing. If you got 90% of the vote already in.
Exactly. Do you think Herschel Walker would have liked to have had a bigger lead going in with the October surprise? Nice. It would have been nice to have some votes before the October surprise drop. But why don't Republicans have October surprises? Why don't we drop bombs on these people?
If you're a fucking conservative looking at conservative media, you're already voting against a Democrat. If you're a normal person who fucking watches Good Morning America and Action News and all the other bullshit media, because you're not really politically engaged, you'll never hear about a Democrat's problem. Exhibit A, Biden's laptop. Right? You'll hear that Herschel Walker was spreading his seed far and wide. You'll certainly hear that.
Yeah.
But you won't hear the other thing. So it's almost like, why bother? And look, if you're not going to vote against Fetterman because he's a borderline clinical imbecile, then what's the point? And I kind of agree with that. I don't care if the Republican is a staggering, gibbering, slobbering Nimrod. I don't want them all to be. But as long as he votes my way, I don't care.
What did Rush used to say? I'll support the nominee even if it's Daffy Duck. Yeah, same here.
Yeah, look, here's a kind of a mistake we made. When I'm voting for a senator, I'm not voting for a leader. Hell, I'm voting for a president. I'm not voting for a leader. I'm voting for a freaking manager. And as a representative, I'm voting for a puppet. I want him to vote the way I want. Maybe make a good case to do it, but I want him to vote the way I want. That's all I want from him. I don't need him fucking lecturing me. I don't need him to lead me. He's not better than me. Most of them are lawyers. If they were really good lawyers, they'd be fucking making money in private practice.
True.
Fuck these guys. I'm not voting for you. You're not. It's not that you're better than me. It's that you're my subordinate. Now, again, that's why this Tom Tillis shit pisses me off. What the fuck are you doing thinking? Did you get this great idea? Well, stop having great ideas, dipshit. Because that way, what you're sent there to do. You're sent there to do what you're freaking told.
I keep asking myself these days, what do conservatives conserve other than their positions of power?
Very low.
And their first class, 5-star travel. I don't get it.
I think conservatives are willing to be tough, and even rhinos will be tough when they feel threatened. I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is these guys simply don't want to be tough for our interests. They want to be tough for their own. And, I think there's a lot. First of all, I think there's a lot of people on our side who don't think objectively and ruthlessly, like the people who go, well, ballot harvesting is wrong. We should change the law. Okay. Remember the I'm just a bill thing? You got to have power before you can change the law, dummy. And I'm losing patience with stupid people who say stupid things like, well, here's a solution to the problem. Let's Mary Sue it by just solving the problem. Okay, Kobayashi Maru.
And Trump keeps going over this one day, one vote. And I'm just like, yeah, but all the states make their own election laws. So again, how the hell do we orchestrate that?
Okay, look, and here's the thing about Trump. I'm getting fucking exhausted. I'm exhausted by nonsense. Okay? He had he did amazing things against amazing odds. I think he was a great president overall. And ever since he lost the election, because you know how I know he lost, even though I was a lawyer in Nevada for him? Because he's not in the White House. That's how I know he lost. He has made the wrong decision because he has followed his emotions and his perceived self-interest. in the following on the election, the way to go is, hey, this was bullshit. I'm going to accept the results. We're going to fix the election laws where we can. And you gibbering weirdo Biden, I'll see you in 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he should have done it. Instead, he surrounds himself with fucking Lynn Wood and Sidney Powell and
those people were not there to help him.
Yeah, and MAGA King 69 LOL from Twitter. Every fucking weirdo, loser, and mutation. And it's like, normal people look at that and go, no, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they forget it. And that's enough to keep them from going, maybe gas was half priced, but this shit is exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a chance not to do it. He has a chance now not to do it. And of course, he's not doing that because you get with all the good stuff from Trump, and there's a lot of it. You also get all the bad stuff. He's still going to be Donald Trump. He's still the guy who, in the middle of everything, you got a plan, you're moving forward, and out he walks and says, "I'll only vote on election day, cause."
Yeah. I mean, meanwhile, it's like I said, Texas and Florida have fantastic early voting, mail-in voting, and these are models, which I think that other states like Arizona and other places, I think it's in California. I think didn't you guys break the Dems supermajority in Sacramento?
I'm not sure we did, but we got House seats.
Yeah. So you're making inroads out there. You're chipping away.
I have voted by mail forever.
Same here.
And I get the freaking ballot. I fill it out. I send it in. I got a little email saying we've received it. We'll let you know when it's counted. Then I get a text or an email that says your vote's counted. Thanks, and I'm done.
Yeah, same here. I can track it online.
I'm a conservative, so they're like, oh well, it goes in a fucking machine.
Some people walk their. I mean, they vote by mail, but they walk it in. That's what my dad. You can
walk it. Well, I will drop it in one of the ballot boxes.
Right.
That's around, or I've mailed them also.
You can take them down to your Secretary of State's office.
If you are concerned, you can walk it in.
Yeah.
I'm not that concerned. Mine I've always got the text that it's been counted. I'm kind of thinking they're not, well, let's fool Schlichter. Your vote's been counted.
That would be cool.
I'm not saying isn't cheating. I am not saying, and I'm not even saying the 2020 election wasn't rigged.
Right.
In the sense that there was cheating, there were unlawful changes to the rules, and there were systemic establishment issues that made it, if not legally immoral, practically immoral, starting with the Hunter Biden thing. Mm-hmm. Those were all problems. So if you want to say the election in 2020 was rigged, I think that's a fair assessment. I think it was bullshit.
It was not.
That being said, here's your battlefield. Mm-hmm. You don't get to freaking go, well, I don't like the terrain. I want a different battlefield. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think if we match the Dems and we get really good at mail-in and early voting and ballot harvesting, do you think that they would call for an end to it all?
If they thought to their advantage.
Yeah. That's kind of how I think. I think if we match them and we do really well, then they're going to be like, well, one day, one vote.
Look, if you wanted, if it was up to me, and it's not, I would have one day of voting, with ID,
national holiday,
in person on a paper ballot.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I would want to do it. But you know what? More people than me voted a different way or voted for representatives who voted a different way. So I lost that argument. I'm going to keep making it. Maybe people will come around.
But until then, that's the battlefield. Here's
your battlefield.
Right.
It's like Julius Caesar rolling up on Alesia, looks up and says, well, Vercingetorix is up in that hilltop, and it's looks like a lot of work to deal with besieging them, and plus there are guys behind me. I want a different battlefield. No, he builds a freaking palisade around his enemy. Then he builds another one behind him so he can't be relieved, and he beats both sides. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Vercingetorix reference for today.
GOP needs more killer instinct, frankly. We need guys who will wipe the blood from their mouths after they're done winning, and I just don't see enough of them.
Look, I think we have a consultant problem.
Yes.
We the way consultants are funded, which, for instance, taking a percentage of media buys, which, what will that get you? More media buys. But here, we're not, we're not in a situation where we're influencing people to the extent we used to be. We need to do some of it. This is not about convincing people to vote our way, but rather ensuring the votes we have get in. You locking down the base and making sure every single one of them votes has to be the priority, then influencing the guys in the middle. They're both important, but the way that it's funded incentivizes not focusing on get out the vote. It focuses on media, especially non-candidate media buys. Candidates get the lowest rates. Non-candidates, like a PAC or some sort of super fun thing, they have to pay 5 times as much. So your dollar going to, Save Our America Eagle Forum Families for America PAC it's like you get 20 cents on the dollar after the media guys have taken their cut.
Right. That's crazy. And I would also imagine that most of that media and most of those ad buys are in and around the election, which is going to make it a premium on top of that. We've got to think. We've got to rethink how these guys are funded. A lot of candidates aren't going to. A lot of consultants won't like it. Jeez, Kurt. The idea of going out early and getting the base early is just a no-brainer. And then you focus the rest of that time, those last 30 days or whatever, or last 2 weeks,
running up the score.
Yeah, I mean, this makes no sense to me. It's like trying to overcome a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter.
The incentives are not there to win, except for the individual candidate and the base.
Yeah.
What's Rona McDaniel's incentive to win? Well, she doesn't have one. She's literally her argument is literally, it doesn't matter that I lose all the time. That shouldn't be your criteria. I have connections. That's why. I will offer the voters individual things. Maybe. We don't know. But I'll bet. It's a giant fucking clusterfuck.
Yeah, it's a club. Okay, so as far as potential candidates for presidential nomination are concerned, do you think the GOP as a whole is going to be vastly swayed by the personality or agenda or, for whoever
it's Trump or DeSantis.
Okay.
Everybody else is, Pompeo. Come on. I mean, really, you've been around conservatives. Have you ever heard anyone go, my money's on Mike Pompeo?
Probably the last time I heard somebody say, my money's on Rex Tillerson. It's never happened, basically. No. So nobody knows who these people are. Nobody cares.
On Pompeo.
No, he's
just not in the game.
Yeah.
It's DeSantis or Trump. Trump is going to fuck around for the next 8 or 9 months while DeSantis sits and governs competently and stays out of the spotlight, except when he does something cool. And Trump is going to, I don't know, maybe I don't know what the fuck.
I would
who's
love.
Who's he going to invite to freaking lunch?
I would love the idea that Trump could sit there for the next year and just take all the flack.
Which he is.
And then at some point in time, step out of the way and say, I am going to endorse this guy.
Will never happen. I don't see him doing it until he feels he's going to be humiliated, which he will be in, I think, in Iowa or New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Because there's no one around Trump. Like I said, Trump's advisor is LOL MAGA King 69. Okay? He's not surrounded by pros or anybody who will say, hey, fuck Stain. Listen up, which is what you need. The Army, when you're a commander, when you're a full colonel or a lieutenant commander or a lieutenant colonel, and you have a unit, a battalion or a brigade, you get a command sergeant major who is a very senior non-commissioned officer. You outrank him, yeah, He's been in probably about 5-10 years before, more than you, even if you're a colonel or a light colonel. And his job is to shut the door and go, sir, you're fucking up. He's the guy who can do it. Now, some colonels just say, how dare you? And the sergeant major goes, Roger, sir, and no more advice. And that colonel again, stepping on his dong. A good colonel will go, well, guess, Sergeant Major, why do you think I'm screwing up? Well, you're doing this, this, and this, and this. And then you work it out. And then you listen. And that's how I did. And I had many a closed-door session with Command Sergeant Major Flannery about how we were running the unit. And I ended up with the best unit in California. I mean, I got a big sword up there that says I was the best commander. And it was in large part because I was smart enough to listen to great guys like Command Sergeant Major Flannery and others. Who's the Command Sergeant Major Flannery for Donald Trump? Who's the guy who can shut the door and say, Don, you're fucking up. This is stupid. Don't do this. Who's that guy? There isn't any.
I think every great leader needs somebody to come in and throw that cold bucket of water every once in a while, if needed.
You need people who are willing. And they're not, it's you just need somebody to tell you suck. No, you need a trusted voice who has a different perspective.
Yeah.
That makes you stop and go, maybe I am doing the wrong thing. Maybe there's a better way.
Yeah, it's called constructive criticism, and nobody is above it.
No way. No, and the higher you are, the more you need it.
Yeah.
Because, you're the president. No, who's going to tell you no? Well, somebody's got to, because don't tell me he's not dicking up. Okay, he allowed freaking Nick Fuentes, who's a little fucking rodent anyway, to sit down to dinner with him. I've never made that mistake. I had that little pipsqueak come up to me at CPAC, go, hey, Kurt Schlichter, I'm Nick Fuentes. I said, get the fuck away from me. Okay, get the fuck away from me. I'll slug you. And he fucking scampered off. Like the little bitch he is. How the fuck you're fucking you were the president. You're running for president. What the fuck? Yeah, I mean, well, Trump, he turn away a guest? Yes. Yeah, that was like one of the arguments. Well, Donald Trump just wanted to, was he supposed to turn away a guest? Yes. Yes. Supposed to know who his guests are and turn away the assholes. You correctly were. Oh my God!
Well, it turned out to be.
You didn't know who Fuentes was. That's not better.
Yeah,
That's
it turned out
worse.
Well, it's like it turned out to be a hit job. They admitted it, and I'm just thinking to myself, why isn't Mar-a-Lago expecting hit jobs?
Well, that's the thing. So you're saying you got fooled by Milo and Nick? That these fucking guys put one over on you? That's not better. That's actually much, much worse. Look, Trump is not an anti-Semite. Trump is not a racist. That's not part of who he is. The idea that Trump hates somebody because of his race or religion is just ridiculous. It's literally stupid and a lie. Trump's got plenty of faults. We've talked about some of them. Mm-hmm. Hating people because of their race or religion is not one of them. That is a scurrilous slander. My objection is he lets assholes embarrass him. And he doesn't demonstrate learning. Okay? I mean, fucking Omarosa.
Scaramucci.
Okay, no fucking weirdos. And he eventually got great guys. Rick Grinnell is incredible. Yeah. Robert O'Brien, what a fucking stud. I mean, he had really good people along with the fucking cast of conservative clown car. Fucking Scaramucci. I mean, holy shit.
I know, dude. That one just blew my mind. I mean, what did that last? Like 12 days or 7?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, come on.
I never understood
in all
that
of America,
one.
you can find somebody who's not a drooling half-wit.
Yeah. It's weird, man. I mean, for as good a people that he had in, it's some of
eventually,
there was equally just awful people.
I understand he didn't come in with a Rolodex. Right.
Well, yeah, and you end up with DC insiders. And,
you get some insight. Look, I can imagine.
That's the problem, is hiring in that town.
Okay, I get that. You're gonna have some fucking duds.
Yeah.
When I was a commander, there was always one guy on the staff who was always, a couple steps behind in the march.
Sure.
All right. That's just how leadership is. You either replace them or you fix them or whatever. But he just doesn't seem to learn. He makes the same mistakes again and again.
Yeah, that is such a viper pit, and sometimes I just had the thought that move the RNC out of DC, get as many organizations out of there to hire better people.
The RNC has a specific role, but the problem is its mindset is top down instead of bottom up. It should have his finger on the pulse of the party, not vice versa. Fucking Rona McDaniel is not my leader. Okay. I don't need that. I don't need her to set the agenda. I need her to fucking create an infrastructure that wins elections and protects election integrity.
Right.
Neither of which has she managed to build.
Right.
She's not a leader. She's a manager.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she's a manager of a baseball team.
Big difference.
She's not out there hitting. She's out there figuring out, okay, can I get a right fielder for how much money and how many fucking hits is this guy going to get and how many catches is he going to make? What do the stats say? I want her to manage, not lead.
Let's switch over to something fun. It's the holiday season. We're still inside that window where you can order stuff and get it delivered by Christmas. I think it's the 15th. I think it's the cutoff for FedEx and UPS and everything. So you have a fictional book series you write following a character named Kelly Turnbull, and it's set in a post-apocalyptic America. Tell viewers who might not know about it what it's about and also why you write these books.
Well, for the Kelly Turnbull series of conservative action novels speculates on a future where America is split apart and Kelly Turnbull goes and has adventures. And there's 7 of them. And I have sold well into 6 figures of these things. People love them because there's nothing out there like them. Mm-hmm. And you can get them on Amazon. You can contact me if you're a VIP. You can use my super secret email. You can get me to DM you, or I'm sorry, to send signed copies to you. Cool. They're a lot of fun, and I love writing them. Every one of them's different. It's not like, well, there's certain short, boring spy novel writers out there who every book is the same. Evil villain, hero sees the evil villain, hero overcomes the evil villain because he's magical, the end. And then next year there'll be another. The only thing that changes is this time it's in India. Wanks motion. I had that stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, I literally I got 2 pages into that kind of book and I threw it across the room and I wrote mine. Mine are all different and they're all fun and they're funny and they make, you have a blue America that's like a college campus. You have a red America, which the latest Inferno kind of explores more. And it's not, hey, if everybody's like, it talks about conservative ideals, everything will be fine. Everything's not fine because human nature is not repealed. And I like all the books. I think they keep getting better, but people have different ones that are their favorites. Mm-hmm. It's just I highly recommend them. I'm biased, but ask a couple 100,000 people who bought them. Ask them what they think.
Well, they also have beautiful covers. Sean Salter is a super talented guy. I'm talking to him. We're talking about collaborating on some stuff, and
nice.
Again, the books are fantastic, and then you've got beautiful cover artwork, and you hire conservative artists. You put conservative artists to work. So
pay for the nose for them too.
Well, it's you get what you pay for, man. It's the same with me.
I'm happy. You don't see me begrudging a cent.
Absolutely.
Look, I'm a lawyer, and I charge people a shit ton of money to do what I do because I'm that fucking good.
Exactly.
And if you want me, here's what it costs.
Yeah.
And Sean, here's what Sean costs. And I'm
it's the same in the arts, man. You can't shortchange that stuff, especially when you're talking about visuals and a book cover.
Quality. Yeah. And they people love the books. Books are fun. I'm just having a great time with them.
You know, between you and Sean and me, do you think we need more conservatives like us in the arts?
Look, I definitely. I mean, Andrew Breitbart talked about it.
Mhm.
We do. Now, my books are overtly conservative, but I try and make them fun first. Okay, you could read my books, not pay attention to the conservative-y stuff, and still have a cool adventure and lots of action scenes and stuff. Because my guy doesn't solve problems by talking; he solves problems by shooting.
Well, you're baking your messages into the cake, so it's not like some lecture
I'm not
or some
hiding them. No, so it's not like you'll be watching some Amazon movie or show, and then like episode 4, suddenly you have like the born again Christian who wants to hunt gay people for sport for some reason. It's like, I don't need this shit. Where'd that fucking come from?
Yeah.
My stuff's
real subtle.
Conservative.
Yeah.
And I had some dipshit. I think it was Andrew Sullivan. He wrote about me a little while ago. I'm apparently the barometer for MAGA. Because I'm never critical of Trump.
Yeah, who knew?
Yeah, who fucking knew? I guess he's moved on from trig truthering. But he used one scene where he took some of the scenes and said, "Well, here's something Kurt said," and it was like, but that's like actually really funny and perceptive. I was like, I'm really glad I wrote that because that's like good.
So he ended up being helpful. That's wonderful. That's a great
story.
I
mean, look, it appealed to me. I don't think it appealed to his 4 readers.
He didn't get it. No, doesn't sound like it. So you can get your stuff on Amazon,
or directly from me.
Directly from you if you want signed stuff.
Email.
Okay, awesome. I encourage everybody to do that for Christmas. If you it's like conservatives are always looking for stuff for your brother, your sister, your granddaughter, your niece, your uncle. This is cool stuff.
I've written messages to every possible relation.
Yeah, nice.
Right to a great second cousin. Kill all the communists.
Yeah, there you go. Kill a commie for mommy. Well, sadly, we're out of time. Kurt, give everyone your social media coordinates so they know where to find you and your
at Kurt Schlichter on Twitter and on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday for town hall columns. Yep. And if you're a VIP, check my stream of courteousness, which will be Fridays, and my podcast, which I don't do. A lot of people do like a podcast they have a nice setup and they prepare. I eat breakfast at a diner, get in my car, and record it for a half hour.
Nice.
Driving around with Arena.
Travel log, you and Arena. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, so you'll have me go, hey, dipshit, fucking use a turn signal. Anyway, as I was saying about the Republican National Committee race.
I lived in LA and have spoken those words.
So you understand that. I think some people fear the turn signal because the flashing lights remind them of the manifestation of one of their many angry gods of their homeland.
Moloch, it must be. All right. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. We'll have you back.
Man. Rock and roll.